I got one. They gave me one over there, so I don't actually need one.
Yes, collect them all. It's like trading cards.
What was your reaction like to, it seemed like everyone loved the dynamic of you and Grant and the father-son relationship. There was just this instant karma. What was it like to see the reactions to everyone just warming to that relationship?
Well, I mean, it's what you hope is going to happen. But I tell you, when I saw Grant after we had all seen the pilot, and nobody else had, and he was like, oh my God, he said, I was in the theater where they screened it. He said, and I had to keep from choking up. It's so not cool to cry at your own scene, But and I said, well, if it hadn't been that way, that would have been our fault, because it was on the page. And every time we've done the father-son relationship, it's been different. I think, well, that's it. We've done it. And then they put it in the subjunctive. Then they say, well, if the Flash were my son, I'd tell him a few things. I'd tell him it's a dangerous world, so be careful. I mean, I'm reading these things going, okay, we're really going to have to think about dirty dishwater while we're playing these scenes to get through them. They're so emotionally full. So it all starts with the writing, I mean, so many times over the course of a 35-year career, you go, okay, how am I going to make this work? It's absolutely not happened on this show. As much story as has been burned through. I think of it. I mean, my God. It's like every episode is a season finale. It's amazing, really.
How will Barry's action in the season finale affect you as a character? And what does the disappearance of Harrison Wells mean for your sentence?
Obviously, I mean, he's crushed because his hope of getting the man in the yellow suit and freeing Henry is gone. So I think it has severe ramifications, and how that plays out. I mean, obviously, a major arc for him is to get his father out of prison. That's going to have to be satisfied at some point, one way or another. And how that plays out is going to be part of the dynamic of season 2. Did I answer your question? Maybe.
Don't you love the paradox, though? Because if he's gone, he never would have come back to kill Barry's mother in the first place.
I know. I also think a very curious thing is that Henry's reaction to, and I mentioned, it's like as soon as he hears about the man in the yellow suit, Henry goes, move on. He's not curious about it. Yeah. He tells his son, no, you can't change the past. He doesn't ask, does he ask him about what happened when he went back? I mean, what's up with Henry?
What is it?
I hope that we explore that.
What do you think is up with him?
There are a lot of fan theories that he has There's a lot of fan theories that he has his own maybe superpowers, or that he knows things about the past.
Well, the executive producers, the writers, Greg and Andrew and Jeff, I mean, they've set the bar so high, and there have been so many elements introduced all at once that anything clearly is possible. So it's going to be as much of a ride for us. I told them over there, I just hope I don't drop an ice cream cone. If I get a script where I'm eating an ice cream cone like Dawson's Creek, like, no!
You talk about how much story they burned through and stuff. Has this sort of I don't know if complexity is the right word, but sort of the power of each episode surprised you, even from where it was at the beginning of the season to how it went throughout the season?
Yeah, I mean, particularly, I remember reading that infirmary scene, and then the trickster episode. I write them. I write Greg and I said every time I think you can't top yourselves, you do. And it's exciting for me. Tom was saying in an interview, not only getting to do it, but watching it, you're aware that you're doing something that's really extraordinary. And that's one thing I had actually written, Greg, and I hope that particularly the young actors realize that you don't stumble into a show like this very often in the course of a career, where not only is it a wild ride at the amusement park, but the characters are so specific, the relationships are so emotionally full and meaningful. I don't mean to bring everybody down, but you hit on something that's really important to me.
No, absolutely. I think it's part of the core appeals of the show.
Yeah, I do too. When we were doing the Flash 25 years ago, we wanted to make a really great movie a week. If there's one place that we had a shortcoming, I think it was in telling the story of who these characters, where they start, where they end up, and how we get there. And that's what they're doing so brilliantly in this new effort. I feel, you know.
For you personally, having this first season in the can and having done one season before, what's your favorite part of getting to revisit this world at this point?
You know, what's my favorite part? 25 years ago, Comic-Con, you know, I tell people, I came to Comic-Con 25 years ago, and I walked through in 4 hours and signed a dozen autographs, and it was over. You know, now it's 180,000 people taking over the town. What's gratifying, and what I hoped, and I said actually at the beginning, what I hoped for Grant, we had the critical success, our reviews were through the roof, that he would have the popular success, working as hard as he's working, that we just missed, and he's having it.
Wrapping it up, guys.
And I couldn't be more delighted.
What are your favorite TV shows right now?
My favorite TV shows right now, you know, I love Penny Dreadful. I'm addicted to Penny Dreadful. I just can't get enough of that. I think Miss Green is one of the most astounding actresses I've seen. I mean, if she doesn't get an Emmy somewhere along the line for that work, you know.